everyone on this side. I hope you have watched yesterday's video. So continuing from yesterday's video, today we would be continuing with consumer choice. Yesterday we did budget constraints. So till now we have understood that how consumer preferences work and how consumer budget constraints work. So till now we can make that consumer can make a rational way by choosing the good which will maximize the satisfaction that he achieves from specific baskets. So now how the market basket must satisfy two conditions. Okay, first is that it should be located on the budget line. By this, this would mean that the basket which he is trying to purchase would be actually under his budget. Okay, so looking at the diagram below, you can see that on the budget line, there are two baskets, B and basket A. And you can also see that I have made an indifference curves. If you don't know what is an indifferent curves, don't worry. I have made previously videos on it as well. I will share the link of it in the description. Please go there and check it out. So indifference curve is the curve which tells you the utility of the market baskets under that curve. So say all the baskets in the utility curve U1 would have the same level of satisfaction, and the satisfaction level of indifference curve U2 would be more than the satisfaction level of indifference curve U1. Okay, so now going forward with it, as you can see here, the basket B would give me a utility U1 and A, which is also on the budget line. These two B and A are on the budget line. You would give me a more level of satisfaction, which is U2, and market basket D, which is totally out of context because it is neither on the budget line, and also the level of income which I would be needed to purchase that market basket D would be really high. So that's why that is out of my reach, and for that, for time being, I would keep that market basket aside, irrespective of the higher amount of utility it gives to me. Okay, so now going forward, now you would be confused that whether one should prefer market basket B or A. I would tell you that since the utility U2, although both these market baskets are in the budget of the consumer, but since market basket A is giving the consumer more level of satisfaction, that's why he would be preferring market basket A over market basket B. I hope you get the point. Now, before I move further, I would also like to discuss with you the slope of a budget line. This is the slope of the budget line. What is it? It is the change in the goods, in the number of clothing goods upon the change in the number of goods in the food. Okay, so suppose that and it could, and you can also say it as the ratio of price of food and price of clothing. Remember that this slope would be always in minus because it is a downward sloping curve. Okay, so as you know that previously we took the price of food, I guess, to be 50 and the price of clothing to be 100. Okay, so here our slope would be minus 1 by 2, and as you can see the MRS, which we would be doing in the next slide and in this video only, the MRS has to be the MRS has to be equal to the slope of the budget line, and at that point only actually it's a must condition for a good for a consumer to purchase a good, because at that point at that market basket the consumer would be totally indifferent and his utility would be satisfied to the maximum. Now coming to the second point, it must give consumer the most preferred combination of goods and services. Now you can see that in previous slides, I hope I would have it here, that these were the preferred market baskets. So the basket which he used to, which he can purchase have to be in these, among these only. Okay. It can't be outside of these market baskets. So yeah, moving ahead. So now what is a marginal benefit? Marginal benefits are nothing but the benefits from a consumption of one additional unit of good is called a marginal benefit. What is a marginal cost? Marginal cost is nothing but the cost of an additional unit of good. By this, I mean that if till now you were purchasing 51 goods and now you are going for a 52nd good, so the benefit which you will get in purchasing that 52nd good would be your marginal benefit, and the cost that would be incurred in purchasing that 52nd good would be your marginal cost. Now coming to the corner solution. Corner solution is nothing but when a utility or an indifference curve is made on the corners of the budget line, that point of time it is called as a corner solution. This is formed because either only because of one reason. Here I have taken two goods, Coke and ice cream. Suppose you are to purchase, you are going to purchase a Coke or a ice cream, but you are totally, you don't like Cokes at all. So you go for ice creams and you don't purchase even a single Coke. So at that point of time, my purchases for Coke would be 0, which on x-axis would be somewhere here, and say my product my units of ice cream are 10, so 0 10 would be this plot, and say then it would be 0 12 0 15, things like that. Okay, so here the MRS would be either equal or greater than the slope of the budget line. Let me just explain it to you more well. So MR is nothing but the quantity of goods being sacrificed to purchase another quantity, another commodity. I have also explained in this previous video as well, but I will give you a brief. If you want a detail on it, I will provide the description, the link below in the description. Okay, so MRS is change in excuse me for my writing. Change in clothing upon change in food. Okay, so if this change is equals to the slope of budget line, which I just told you is the price of food upon the price of clothing. Okay, so if it's equal to this, then whichever market basket is going to give me this MRS, I'm going to definitely purchase that. But if it is more than or less than, then I might be not actually satisfied, or my maximum level of satisfaction may not be achieved. So that is what is actually happening over here. You can see that the change in the clothing at point B is too high, but when it's compared to the number of changes in food, it's respectively very low. Okay, that's the reason why the MRS is going to come on a very higher side than the slope. And that's the reason why at this point of time, I'm either going to purchase only the commodity at this point, leaving all this aside, because this is actually on my budget line as well, and also gives me some utility. Okay, either I'll purchase this or I'll purchase nothing. So that's it for today. Please like, share, and subscribe.